Welcome to the post-match press conference, the first part of the post-match press conference. We have from Mumbai City coach, Mr. Azadi. Coach, difficult game today. Things were not going for you from the start. So, what is your assessment?
That's our first game of our season. Performance-wise, certainly first half, I thought we were very good. I thought we had a lot of chances, we just didn't convert. I think their goal, pretty much against the run of play, which is a bit of a deflection that runs in behind to roll. And they finish as well. I think it's the only chance of the first half that they had, and that's the quality of this level. You give an opponent one chance, they can take it. So, and second half we come out and give it a good go, and I think the second goal's kind of killed us a little bit. Made it very difficult to get back into the game. But overall, yeah, disappointed with the result, but not disappointed with the performance. Bearing in mind that is our first game of the year.
We'll take a show of hands for questions.
Starting the season with the Champions League, was it the worst possible scenario for you, or did you need some playing time before the Champions League season actually got underway? Because that is a different case in Europe.
Oh, it's a different case in Asia as well. They played 4 or 5 league games before the window broke. So we AFC tried to use the Durand Cup, but we haven't played a competitive game since ATK, so one against Super Giants. And that's not an excuse, that's the reality of it. We don't have control of when our season starts. So we knew that this was always going to be a tough and challenging opening game, but we've done as much to prepare for it as we could. And if we play like that, we'll get better as obviously the more games we play. Which, looking now at ISL, when we move to the northeast away, the more games that we play. If we can perform and play the way we did certainly first half, and just convert and finish the chances when they present themselves, that's going to be the key for us now.
Next question, yeah.
So throughout the game, Mumbai City FC was dominating, I would say. There were good patterns of play and some good chances. Ideally, you would expect Diaz and Chante to score goals. Do you think it was pressure or something else that they weren't able to finish those off?
No, I don't think it's pressure. I just think it's, again, lack of games leading into this in terms of competitiveness. That sharpness, as you see, even last year in our ISL campaign, it took us maybe 4 games to find our strike. I'm not saying that's the case this time, but other nights, other games, those guys score those goals, and we don't get caught with 2 opportunities in our goal. So, look, overall, like I said, I'm disappointed with the result, but when I look back and from what I've seen on the pitch, I'm also much disappointed with the performance. When we consider, again, in Pune, not the my football arena, first game of the season, and it being Champions League rather than our league itself.
Next question. Take a show of hands.
Coach Rohan from Times of India. You spoke on Match Eve, about the difference, last year when you played all your group matches, in Riyadh, and you all obviously looking forward to, that home factor. You'll had some traveling support, but I guess it's fair to ask you, would you hope to see some more, fans? I mean, who could have possibly given you a lift when things were a bit tough today?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to comment a moment ago. I thought we had good control of the majority of the game, but that sometimes doesn't give you the results that you'd like. Now, of course, we would like more fans. We would. We certainly get that. We get more when we're in Mumbai, but coming to Pune, the club made as much effort as they could, and I know fans made a very big effort to get here, and for the 1,600, I think it was, that made the effort and got here. They were loud and we heard them. But yeah, if we can get more here, of course we will as a club. We want to grow our fan base, and what I see last year, from game number 1 through to the end of the season when we lifted the shield, there was a big influx and a big increase in that fan base and that support, which again now we'll turn our attention and hopefully take back to the MFA for our ISL games.
Coach, in the second half particularly, it was raining a much more, and you were trailing at that point in time as well. Did the conditions make it a little difficult? Was it a little heavier around the ball, moving around?
I think my shirt went see-through, so I apologise for that, anyone in here, because of the rain. Look, the pitch has rained here heavily for the last 3 or 4 days. So we walked on the pitch yesterday, it was very heavy, it was very soft underneath. Again, the rain obviously doesn't help that, it does slow the game down a little bit, but again, it's not an excuse we're going to make. We create enough opportunities and chances on the goal, but it's now about making sure we finish off what was some very good.
Coach, you had Alkante on the bench, and I believe he hadn't got a proper training after coming today. When the score was 1-0, and if it had been 1-0 till 85 minutes, where would you have been tempted to get him on the pitch, maybe?
Yeah, there's always a temptation. Alkante arrived with us at 2 o'clock this afternoon. So he hasn't played competitively since the end of last season. So you always want to put those players on, because again, if it's 1-0, which it was 2 at the time, for me there was no point in taking that risk. He is a player that is going to be very important to us, but same as any of our players, we need to make sure that we get the work into him to allow him to perform to the levels we know he can, and not just do that for one game, but do that consistently. It's about long term for us, as the season, as well as tonight. So we took the decision to not use him because I didn't think there was a need. The risk far outweighed the reward. But he will now travel back with the team. He's got to know his teammates. He will spend the next 5 days with us. And we'll work very hard, and he will work very hard to integrate him in the way that we do things as we move forward.
Coach,
Yeah, please.
Coach, do you think the smaller moments in the game made the bigger difference? And as far as our chances go, as far as Mumbai City's chances go, I think not taking these chances or probably falling short of luck would have acted more had you got some match practice, or is that something you consider okay?
No, I think the small things in these types of games. We said this level of football is the highest level in Asia. So those small things make a big difference. You take those chances, whether it be Chante's one in the first 5 minutes when he just goes up wide of the post, or whether it's Pippin's one before half time where he gets the cutback from those chances on top of many others. They do change the outlook of the game. You go one up, of course, the opposition have to come and find ways to break through, and it opens the game up for us. So that wasn't the case, but again, if we can perform in that way, we'll get faster, we'll get sharper. But if we can show that performance now and build on that over the next couple of games, that puts us in a very good place, certainly in our league.
Coach, you mentioned, of course, that this is a different level to, of course, ISL. What was perhaps going well for Nassaji today? I mean, the way you looked at it, what was working for them?
I don't know, I watched it back. I was very much just looking at us and where we could exploit them. And I felt we did that, especially in wide areas. We created several opportunities in wide areas, and we got the ball into good areas where we usually, not only create but we finish. Time wasn't there. We didn't finish those moves as we didn't finish them like we would. So that's again my focus is making sure we tidy ourselves up, and we're prepared now for what will be our next Champions League game away in Uzbekistan.
Coach, defense, you spoke of the satisfaction from the performance overall, but in terms of the challenges defensively, did they give you something to think about? Was that one of the main hurdles to try and kind of find solutions to the defensive organization?
Yeah, I think the first half, they're a team. It's a new team, so it's not the team from last year. So I know there's been probably comparisons made to the team that finished 13th. It's a very different team this year. New coach, a lot of new players, good players, and with good players come good experiences, and they set themselves up extremely well. Being away from home especially. But again, if we hadn't created anything, I'd be far more concerned. And first half, I don't know how we've gone in at half time, 1-0 down. I really don't. I've been involved in many games before, and it was a little bit frustrating at half time to go in at 1-0 down. So, second half, especially when they get the second goal, they obviously go back to a back five, go to midfield forward. It does make things more difficult because they can sit on a lead. But again, even when they did that, we still found opportunities and ways through. Diaz had a good opportunity at the end. I think it was a cross where Chante, if he'd have been 2 inches taller, may have headed it into the back of the net. They're just two off the top of my head. So, however teams set up against us, whether it's the first half with a 4, the experience they have, or it's a 5 with a sit deep, we've now got different ways that we can create. It's just about finishing.
Coach, right at the end of the match, you were standing on the pitch for a very long time. At least from your look, same position, no movement. Just penny for your thoughts. What was going on at that point in time?
During the game or at the end?
Right at the end, when the team was cooling down and you were standing right at the end.
Yeah, I just stand to make sure that we've got a bench of 12 players, 10 of which we've got four that haven't made the squad tonight, so they come down and they work because we know this. We need to keep them on the same training cycle as the others as we now prepare for our league. So it's just staying out there. Again, they're as important as the players that have just played. So rather than me just disappear into the change rooms, it's about staying out there and making sure, or staying with them while they do that work. Because again, it's not nice work, they have to run. So again, it's the same. We can do that in the Ehsan as well as this, regardless.
Yeah, so this your next game against Northeast United is not far away. So do you think this result will have any impact on players' mentality before you go into that game?
No, I don't think so. I think we have 5 days now. They've got 2 days off, and we'll travel back to Mumbai this evening. They'll rest tomorrow, and then some of them will train the day after. And then we have 3 days to get ready for Northeast. So we'll train for 2 days and then travel. But no, if anything, when we go back through the game, we'll pick out the bits that, like I said, for the first game in nearly a month for us, or 3 or 4 weeks, we'll pick out the good parts, and we'll target the other areas where we feel there's a need. But overall, if we can perform like that, certainly in the ISL, we'll put ourselves in a very strong position with all the other players.
Coach, looking at the situation, you had a very good outing today, especially in the attacking third, but it was the defensive third where you made some of the mistakes. But what are the positives you will take going into the ISL season, especially knowing the fact that you will face teams with lesser caliber as compared to the Champions League, whereas you will also have teams like Al Hilal come in the Champions League as well. So what are the big positives that you will take from this game?
I think it's the players showing a very clear understanding of what we do and how we do it. Certainly tonight, and not only have they done that, but they've done it against quality opposition. And of course, we're well set up and making it very difficult. But they showed a very clear understanding of that. And then when we go into the league, it's now about our focus quickly shifts, and it's shifted already to Northeast, and making sure that we rest and recover these players to get them, as many of them, as fresh and as fit as we can. Because again, we know we can't play 5 foreigners, we can only play 4, so we have a decision to make there. But otherwise, no, I think it's just not getting everything fixed.
Any further questions? Okay, if there are no questions, we'll wrap up this part of the press conference. Thank you, Coach, for joining us, and hard luck today and all the best for the upcoming games.
Thank you very much, and thank you all for taking the time to travel up here.
We have Nassaji Mazandaran head coach Mr. Mehdi Rahmati and the player of the match Mohammadreza Azadi. Welcome both of you. Coach, I'll come to you first. Some would say a lot of fans were expecting a Mumbai win, but obviously you've proven them wrong. So what are your thoughts? First thoughts after the game?
در واقع خیلی از طرفدارای تیم بمبئی انتظار داشتن که بمبئی در واقع برنده بشه، ولی خب انتظاراتشون برآورده نشد و اونجوری که می‌خواستن پیش نرفت. حالا نظر شما چیه؟
در ابتدای صحبتام این برد رو تقدیم می‌کنم به همه مردم ایران و طرفدارای خوب و خونگرم تیم نساجی.
First of all, I would like to say congratulations to all Iranians, and we should give it to all Iranians, and after that, and also especially to all Nassaji fans.
که تمام وجود و تمام زندگیشون رو صرف این تیم کردن.
Because they are putting themselves all their lives for this team.
و در همه جای جهان وقتی تیم نساجی بازی داشته باشه ما هوادارهای خوب و خونگرمش رو کنار خودمون می‌بینیم.
Because wherever Nassaji plays all over the world, they've got their own fans in that part of it.
همونطور که امروز عزیزان اومده بودن در استادیوم و ما رو داشتن تشویق می‌کردن و اونایی هم که نبودن جاشون امروز تو استادیوم خالی بود ولی ما انرژی مثبتشون رو کنار خودمون داشتیم.
As you could see here today, we got lots of fans from Iran here on that corner, and also we got the vibes and positive energies of the fans who were not present in this stadium.
این اولین بازی تیم نساجی تو جام باشگاه‌های آسیا بود.
This was the first match of Nassaji in AFC Championship.
و خدا رو شکر میکنم بعد بازیکن‌های تیمم ممنونم که مردم و طرفدارامون رو خوشحال کردن و اولین سه امتیاز تیم نساجی رو تو جام باشگاه‌های آسیا به دست آوردن.
And I would like to say thank God, and I'm grateful to all my players who could do this big thing and they could win. Actually, they could get their first win in AFC Championship.
فکر می‌کنم امروز یه روز خاطره انگیز و تاریخی باشه تو تاریخ باشگاه نساجی.
Today is a very special and historical day in Nassaji's club.
به خاطر اینکه اولین امتیاز آسیاییمون رو به دست آوردیم.
Because this is the first 3 points of Nassaji in AFC. championship.
و خدا رو شکر میکنم بابت اینکه سرمربی این تیم و این بازیکنان هستم.
And I would like to thank God and also I'm grateful everyone that I am the head coach of this team and I'm very happy for this.
که همه انرژی و همه توانشون رو تو زمین میذارن برای موفقیت تیمشون و سربلندی هوادارشون.
Because everyone is putting their 100% to bring this team up.
تبریک میگم به بازیکن‌های تیمم و مردم خوب ایران.
I would like to say congratulations to all my players and Iranians.
و اینکه اگر سوالی چیزی باشه در مورد بازی پاسخ بدید.
If you have any questions, you can ask.
I'll come to Azadi. Can you tell us about your experience? Congratulations on the goal as well as the win. If you just can tell us about your experience out there on the pitch.
آقای آزادی از شما سوال می‌پرسن که نظرتون در مورد اولین بازیتون توی جام ملت‌های آسیا چیه؟ توی جام باشگاه‌های آسیا.
نام خدا اول از همه سپورت رو تبریک می‌کنیم به مردم ایران و هوادارامون. خیلی خوشحالم که تونستیم امتیاز رو بگیریم. مردم و هوادارامون رو خیلی خوشحال کنیم. خیلی خوشحالم که تونستیم 3 امتیاز رو بگیریم و اولین بازی رو با برد شروع کنیم.
I'm very happy that we could get the first 3 points and we could manage to make our people happy, especially Nassaji fans.
Okay. Any questions from the media? If you don't have, we have one question.
سلام رحمتی، خیلی تبریک میگم بابت بردی که شما داشتیم. اولین حضور، اولین برد آسیایی و اولین تیمی از آسیا که تونستید تو این تورنمنت برنده باشید. فکر می‌کنید که با نساجی با توجه به این بردی که به دست آورد و اعتماد به نفسی که بازیکن‌ها به دست آوردن برای بازی‌های آینده، این روند تا پایان لیگ قهرمانان آسیا ادامه خواهد داشت و شما برای بازی بعد با این ذخیره ارزشمند با چه رویکردی وارد بازی میشید؟
I would like to say congratulations to the head coach of the team, Mr. Rahmati, and since he's getting the first 3 points of the game, his first 3 points of the tournament, so he wants to know if he can have the same condition for the upcoming matches and so that he can make the fans also happy. یک نکته دیگه هم اشاره کردید شما اگر چیزی هست که من فراموش کردم.
برای تا پایان لیگ قهرمانان آسیا میتونه یک کار مستمری باشه.
Also he's asking if he can keep the team the same way till the end of the tournament.
خیلی ممنونم بابت سوالتون. اتفاقا قبل از اینکه بیام به کنفرانس داشتم تو رختکن با بازیکن‌های تیمم راجع به همین مسئله صحبت می‌کردم. همونطور که می‌دونید من خودم شخصاً جزو بازیکن‌هایی هستم که سابقه زیادی تو جام باشگاه آسیا به لحاظ بازیکنی دارن.
Thank you for the question. In fact, I was talking about the same thing in the changing room to my players that they should keep the same situation and they should keep the same till the end of the tournament. And of course, I myself as the head coach, I used to have a lot of experience in such tournaments because I have appeared in AFC Championship so many times.
و به عنوان سرمربی هم تجربه دوممه.
And also as the head coach, this is my second experience to be in this tournament.
مطمئناً ما برای گام بعدی خیلی باید بیشتر تلاش بکنیم. کار ما خیلی سخت‌تر میشه هم تو لیگ ایران هم تو جام باشگاه آسیا، به خاطر اینکه تا امروز تیمی بودیم که برای اولین بار می‌خواستیم بیایم توی جام باشگاه آسیا، ولی از امروز یه حساب ویژه‌تر روی تیممون باز می‌کنه.
For sure, for the next step, we have to do a lot. We have to try hard because from now onwards, everyone is expecting us more than before.
ما میتونیم تا فردا زمانی که سوار پرواز میشیم و برمیگردیم میرسیم به ایران، تا اون تایم میتونیم خوشحال باشیم و بعد از اون تایم کاملا باید تمرکز بکنیم روی بازی بعدی و بازی بعدی و بازی بعدی، به خاطر اینکه شرایط سخت‌تر و سخت‌تر و سخت‌تر میشه. هر تیمی که موفق بشه، موفقیت‌های بیشتری به دست بیاره، معمولا تیم‌های دیگه با تمرکز بالاتری میان جلوش حاضر میشن. در آخر صحبت‌هام باید بگم فکر می‌کنم مهدی عبدی که مسئولیتی براش پیش اومده از ناحیه گونه، امیدوارم که اتفاق خاصی براش نیفتاده باشه و تو این شرایط سخت من بازیکن دیگه‌ای رو از دست ندم.
for sure, actually, from now onwards, we have time only for one day to be happy and cheer, because we have only till tomorrow, since we are having a flight tomorrow to go back to Iran. Only we are cheering this much. And also, I should say that one of our players got injured in his face, so we need to actually. I hope he is not injured very seriously, because I need him for the upcoming matches. And I hope we can have the same condition to the rest of the tournaments.
Thank you, coach, and thank you, Azadi. Congratulations again for the win, and all the best for the upcoming matches.
Thank you.